So I have here two of the nicest heavy duty trucks you can buy in the GM lineup today. On my right side here, we've got a 2026 GMC Sierra 2500 Denali Ultimate. And then over here on my left side, we've got a 2026 Chevrolet Silverado High Country 2500 as well. Both are with the Duramax diesels. We're gonna compare the two. Let me know which one you guys would choose. So a couple things to note here as well, and we'll start with packaging. So the GMC Sierra Denali Ultimate here is priced at $132,892 Canadian. And the only really added option is the black badging package. So it's gonna black out some badges around it like the Denali name. Now the High Country here is priced at $119,557 Canadian. Now the biggest added option, which I highly recommend if you're getting a High Country, is the High Country Premium Package. That's gonna give you the power sunroof, rear camera mirror. It's gonna give you the heads up display and a lot more great options when it comes to the High Country. So I highly recommend that option. And this High Country has upgraded tires. Now you don't have to get the KO3s if you don't want to, but this one does have the upgraded option of tires. Now, having said those things, let's talk about the two trucks here. I do have to say, because I already know in the comments, people are gonna say, oh, well, you know, the Denali is more comparable to the Silverado. Yes, you are right. I just don't have one available. However, some people may still compare the Denali Ultimate and the Silverado High Country. Now, since we've got that out of the way, let's start here with the GMC Sierra Denali Ultimate. Now, you're gonna get these really nice C-shaped LED daytime running lights with LED lights. Now, in the center here, you're gonna get this slate gray grille here, which honestly looks pretty good. It doesn't give that boldness, I would say, to like the front end like the Silverado does here with the chrome. Now, having said that, if you do get the Denali, this would all be all chrome, which does look really nice. You've got the slate gray GMC logo there, which looks good. You've got the camera at the front there. You've got your parking sensors down below, and then you also have your two chromed out recovery hooks. Now, both trucks do have the Duramax, so you're gonna get this really nice beefed up hood here with a air intake vent at the front, which honestly makes this truck at the front look more aggressive. I really do like the front end of the GMC. Now over here with the Chev, it does give a little bit more boldness, especially with this chromed out grille, I do have to say. Now you do get C-shaped LED daytime running lights as well with really nice lights here. These are actually your headlight. And then like I mentioned here, you've got this horizontal integrated chromed out grille here. You do get a chromed out part here of the hood vent, which looks good. Parking sensors with your fog lights, and then you've got a chromed out bumper at the bottom part, so that little trim piece is chromed out. You do get fog lights here also on the Sierra. But just at the front here, what would you guys choose? Honestly, I probably still would go with the GMC Denali Ultimate front end. Even if it was the Denali, I probably still would go with it. But honestly, the Chevy front end does look really, really good, especially if you get like a ZR2. I think, you know, Chevrolet still does a great job when it comes to their designs. Another cool thing with these heavy duties is the fact that they put the amber lights there at the top of the roofs. I think it just makes the trucks stand out a lot more. Let me know what you guys think. Let's take a look underneath the hoods and then go over that diesel. All right, guys, so underneath the hoods here of these two trucks, they both carry the 6.6 liter Duramax diesel, 470 horsepower, and 975 pound-feet of torque mated to the 10-speed. They both showcase that on the hoods, which I can show you guys. But honestly, this is a great engine option, but I would say it's not for everybody. You know, it's $11,000 Canadian to get, which is already expensive. And these trucks are pushing, you know, 120 plus Canadian. So it is a lot of money. It's just going to depend honestly on the user. If I were getting these trucks personally, I would opt for the diesel, but some people just need the gas engine because the truck itself can do the work that's needed. But let me know what you guys think. That's it underneath the hoods here of these two trucks. Let's take a look around them and go over the different options. All right, so let's start here with the GMC Sierra Denali Ultimate here. Now, as we can see, the Duramax diesel Allison transmission badge is actually on the fender, whereas on the Silverado, it's actually on the hood. The High Country name is on the fender, but we'll get into that when we get to the Silverado. Now, over here, you've got a 20-inch wheel. You've got some brushed aluminum with some black. Looks pretty good. You've got Goodyear Wrangler tires, carpeted liner inside, and then with the Denali Ultimate, you're gonna get the Rancho shocks as well. When it comes to, you know, being a fully loaded truck, they're gonna give you the off-road suspension. With the Sierra, you're gonna get this plastic liner here with an amber light there, which I do like. You've got this massive tow mirror chrome here, as we can see on the side, camera on the side there, as well at the bottom of the mirror for your 360 camera. 6.5 foot bed here. Now with the Sierra Denali Ultimate, even the Sierra Denali, you can get a power running board. Now having said that, I still like the fixed running board because up here in Canada, when it comes to the colder climates, I think having a fixed running board is really nice. It doesn't really break. where this, you know, could have potential issues. Now, you can see you've got more chrome around the door handles there and the windowsill. You've got keyless entry only on the front 2 doors. Now, this one has a black out package, so the Denali name is going to be blacked out. And then as you can see there, you're going to get an amber light with that plastic liner on the fender. Now, this is where the interiors are going to change, and the Sierra Denali Ultimate is going to give you a brown interior. So it looks really nice, I do have to say. I like the white stitching and piping. Ultimate there on the backs of the seats, and then you've got more brown there on the headrests. You do get an Alcantara liner here with the Denali Ultimate, not the Denali, but as you can see, you've got a sunroof here too. And then here you got some real wood trim. You also have a upper glove box area too, which is quite nice. So the interior here with the Denali Ultimate is going to be a little bit more upscale. Even the Denali itself, you can get a black interior with the Denali, but you can tell just by the buttons around the climate controls and then some of the pieces here in the center, it's going to give you more chrome. So it's going to be a little bit more enhanced compared to the Chev. Now, one other thing to note with the Sierra Denali Ultimate is your seat adjustments are here. It does come with massaging seats, but that is only in the Sierra Denali Ultimate. You cannot get that in the Denali, but you still get your heated and ventilated seats as well. And then here's a look at what the door panel looks like. So you've got your Bose speakers, lock and unlock. No memory seating here though, which I wish they did put, especially on the highest trim on the GMC Sierra, but you've got real wood trim here. You've got the Ultimate badge there on the door sill to showcase that this is actually the Ultimate. You do get leather wrapped handles here on the A-pillars, which I think looks great too. And then here, like I mentioned, is the power running board. And then this is what the back looks like. So you're gonna get more of that brown interior. Now, having said that, if you don't want the brown, this is the only option that comes in the Sierra Denali Ultimate, but the Denali comes in all black. So that is one thing to note. If you just want the Denali in all black interior, you're still gonna get these cubbies at the back here, which are nice, keep them insulated. You've got cup holders here with a little armrest. And then over here, you've got 2 cup holders, 2 heated seats, USB, USB-C, and then you've got 2 vents, nothing down below. You do have an indent here for taller passengers, and it is a pretty big indent as we can see here, but I do like the fact that they give you the Alcantara liner in the Sierra Denali Ultimate. You also have handles here on the B-pillars to help you get in. Now over here on the door panel, again, more brown coloring here with some white stitching and piping, real wood trim here, speaker down below, but nothing here on the door sill. Now these are a 60-40 split seat. This one does come with the rear storage on the bottom, which is optional. You don't have to get that. You can see you've got cubbies here at the back, but overall, I gotta say the interior is really nice. Now you do get a step here in the back of the bed, and then here's a look at that back tire and wheel with a carpeted liner, and like I mentioned, that plastic liner around the fender. Nothing here to signal anything as well, like Z71 or X31, you know, for the off-road package. So it makes it look cleaner, but that's it for the side of the GMC. Let's take a look at the Chev. All right, so let's take a look over here at the Silverado now. Now, as you can see on the hood, you've got the Allison transmission and Duramax badge on the hood itself, as opposed to it being on the fender. And then you've got the High Country there on the fender, where this has just everything here on the side of the fender. Now, this is what the fender looks like, so it's more squared, whereas in the Sierra, it's a little bit more rounded. You've got a more off-road tire here, and then you also get a 20-inch chromed out wheel. You've got BF Goodrich KO3s on this specific High Country. Carpeted liner inside with the Rancho off-road shocks. You still get the same mirror here with a chromed out piece here, lights, and then a camera underneath for your 360 camera. Now here are things that change. You've got a fixed running board here, whereas on the Sierra, you've got that power one. Personally, I probably would go with this. I love the cool factor with the, you know, automatic running boards. With the Denali, I still believe you can get a fixed running board. You can get a fixed running board with the Denali, but with the Denali Ultimate, you do get the power running board. With the Silverado here in the High Country, you're gonna get the fixed one. This one also comes with a chromed out piece at the bottom there with the 2500 HD badge there, where this one is a little bit more plain. You only get the Denali HD badge there. Now you're gonna get keyless entry on the front 2 doors. You've got chrome door handles, and then you only get a little bit more chrome here at the bottom of the window sills, where over here you've got chrome all around it. Now this is where things are gonna change a lot. And this is what's going to probably defer people potentially from getting the Silverado is the interior. So the interior is a little bit more simpler. As you probably noticed, there's not much chrome going on. You've got a little bit of chrome here. You've got some wood paneling as well. You've got High Country stitched in the headrest. You've got some perforation here, which looks good. Heated and ventilated seats only, no massaging seats in the High Country. You've got your seat adjustments there, High Country there on the door sill. But overall, I still like the Silverado plain Jane kind of feel to it. You know, there's not much chrome going on, and it's a little bit more rubberized over here when it comes to the climate control and some of the light controls, whereas in the Sierra, it's got some chrome around it. But let me know what you guys think about the interior here for the High Country. You've got a sunroof there at the top, but no Alcantara. You do still get handles to help you get in on both sides. And then over here on the door panel, same type of design and material, Bose speaker, lock and unlock, and then some wood trim. Now, as we close this here, we'll take a look at the back. So again, you're gonna get more black with some brown. So same type of kind of design in a way with the seats. So you've got the pockets here, but just black all around with some brown perforation. And then over here, heated seats, as you can see, USB-C, 2 vents, and then 2 cup holders. And then you still get a nice indent here for taller passengers. You do get a cubby here for cup holders, and it can act like an armrest. It is a 60-40 split. This one doesn't have that compartment under here to store things, if you will, but you still can get it. And then here is a look at what the door looks like. So again, more kind of simpler, more plain Jane. Nothing here on the door sill, but you do get a speaker here. Only where in the Sierra, you actually get another speaker here, which is a little differentiation thing. And then over here, you've got that same step, 6.5 foot bed here. You've got that 20-inch wheel, which looks great. I like the chrome. It kind of gives it that High Country feel. You've got that carpet liner inside. But overall, I still think it looks good. Let me know what you guys think. What would you want to go with? Curious to know your thoughts. But let's take a look at the tailgates and compare the two. Just want to thank Applewood GM here in Mississauga, Ontario. Go see my boy Zach. He'll hook you up with a great deal. So in the back here of the GMC Sierra Denali Ultimate, we'll start in the middle. Got the GMC logo there, Denali in the middle, and then Sierra on the right. You've got your parking sensors down below with your footsteps on each side. You've got your LED taillights as well. Now in the center here, we've got a camera, and then we've got a light to help when you are backing up to a trailer. And then here you got your 2 buttons. So if you click them, this is your MultiPro Tailgate, which is great on these heavy duties. You've got the kicker audio speaker there. No handle to help you get in the 2026 trucks. I'm not too sure why they got rid of it. I mean, the stick figure guy still shows it, but unfortunately, I cannot find a handle here. But you've got 3 tie downs in each corner, spray and bed liner from GMC because you got the logo there. You've got your bed camera and then your rear camera mirror there at the top for your third brake light. You got the rear sliding window. But overall, this is really what the bed looks like. You've got a 120 plug over here, and then this one does not have the 5th wheel gooseneck prep pack, which honestly I would recommend getting because from the factory it's cheap. If you need to add it on after, it would cost a lot of money from the dealer. But overall, this is what the back looks like. Now you can close this, and then you can use it just as a regular tailgate if you wish, and then you can add about a foot more of room if you need to put things. Or if you want to just use the top, this is kind of useful, is this part here too, you can use as a stopper. So it's just going to honestly depend on what you need to use. But I would say most people would probably just use the regular part of the tailgate. But unfortunately, I'm not too sure why they got rid of the handle. The handle helps you a lot to help you get in. And then you've got that big exhaust port for the diesel engine, whereas the gas one's a little bit smaller. But let me know what you guys think about the back here of the GMC Sierra. Let's go take a look over at the Silverado. All right, so in the back here of the Chevrolet Silverado High Country. So we'll start in the middle. We've got the blacked out Chevy bow tie there, Silverado on the left, High Country there on the right. You've got your parking sensors on the bumper with your footsteps there on the sides. You've got that massive diesel exhaust port there, and then you've got LED taillights as well. Now this one does come with the multi-flex tailgate, whereas the GMC calls it the MultiPro. You know, they're probably gonna call it the multi-grain soon. But anyways, over here, you've got the camera, and then you've got a light, and then it acts the same way as it would on that GMC. So same type of deal. You can use it as a regular tailgate. You can have it as a step if you wish. This one does not have the kicker audio, which you still can get. No handle as well. I don't know why they wouldn't put a handle here. I mean, they did it for you before, now they don't. You can even see this little stick figure guy has it. Now this one does have the 5th wheel gooseneck prep pack, as you can see the holes, and then you also have your trailering connections there. You've got the same type of cameras up there, so one's for your bed and one's for your rear camera mirror, and then you've got that 120 plug. You still get 3 tie downs in each corner. But this is a spray and bed liner from Chev, as you can see the Chev logo there. This can be useful, but again, it's nice to have the handle, especially on these heavy duties. They sit a little bit taller in the back. So that's one thing that I wish they did. And then, like I said before, you can use this as a stopper, and then you can use it again. Rather show you guys everything, use it as that too. So a lot of uses for the tailgate. So let me know what you guys think. But that's pretty much it for the exterior parts. Let's take a look at the fronts and show you guys what the differences are. All right, so looking inside the GMC Sierra Denali Ultimate, we'll start with the door panel. You're gonna get some brown here, as we can see on the door panel, some real wood trim, lock and unlock. You get memory seating here on the driver's side, window and mirror controls here, and the mirrors can power extend and they power fold, which is nice. Down below here, you got a pocket for storage, Bose speaker, Ultimate badge there on the door sill, and then here's what the seats look like. So again, personally, I like the brown, but if you don't like the brown, I mean, this is the only option you can get on the Sierra Denali Ultimate. You're gonna have to go to the Denali. So it's just gonna be a personal preference. Seat adjustments here with massaging seats. And then over here, as you can see, just pay attention, you're gonna see here on the GMC Sierra Denali Ultimate, you're gonna see the chrome here, whereas on the Silverado, you're gonna see more rubber. But you got your 4x4 settings here with your light controls. This one does come with the heads-up display. But overall, I think the interior is just a little bit more enhanced. I mean, you're paying definitely more, but one thing that I wish they did was give you an automatic telescopic steering wheel where it's manual. I mean, you're paying a lot of money. Why can't they give you an automatic telescopic steering wheel? But that's really it, guys. Before we hop in, let's just go over to the Silverado and compare the two. All right, so taking a look inside the Silverado High Country here on the driver's side. So over here on the door panel, as you can see, it is a little bit more simpler, all black. You've got some real wood trim here, lock and unlock memory seating, window and mirror controls here. Again, the mirrors are power folding and power extending. Bose speaker, you got storage down below. High Country here on the door sill, your seat adjustments here. Again, no massaging seats, but you do get heated and ventilated seats. High Country stitched there in the headrest, but the seats themselves, again, more simpler. You got some brown perforation in here, as we can see. Now over here, like I mentioned, this one comes more with the rubber on the switches here, whereas as you saw on the Sierra, you've got more chrome pieces. You've got your 4x4 settings with your light controls. This one also does have a heads-up display, which is quite nice. But again, this does not have an automatic telescopic steering wheel. You have to manually adjust it. But let me know about the two interiors so far. Let's go over back to the Sierra and then go over the interior, and then we'll come over to the Silverado and compare the two. All right, guys, so this is what the interior of the GMC Sierra Denali Ultimate looks like. So you've got a leather wrap steering wheel here. You've got your cruise control over here on the left with your heated steering wheel button. You can get Super Cruise on these trucks, both of them. So it's just going to depend, honestly, if you want to order it with one or if you don't really care. You got Denali here in the center, and then you've got some kind of brushed aluminum here at the bottom. The steering wheels honestly feel the same. They got the same kind of controls on them too. Over here is going to control your front display screen. So you can kind of scroll through, and depending on what display you want, you can cycle through. You also can change different parts of the display if you wish. You can put your navigation on here, but not like the whole screen, which I kind of wish they did. I think it'd be cool just to have it on there, but you know what, I'm all for less tech, but I do think it integrates itself nicely into the dash. Behind here, you've got your toggle for your wipers, and then you still have your column shifter here. Now this one, like I said, does come with the heads-up display. I don't know if you guys can see that there. Controlled via these buttons here. I like the fact that they give you in both trucks physical buttons as opposed to having everything in the screen. I like the buttons because I think people prefer them over just having things in the screen. But over here on the dash, it does look a little bit nicer. I like the white stitching and piping, but this is actually not like a leather. It's kind of a hard touch plastic, which I wish they made it a little bit more softer. I think it would just add more luxury to the truck. You got more of that brushed aluminum carried throughout the whole dash, as you see here on the steering wheel. You do get an upper glove box area here, which is quite nice. You got the Denali longitude and latitude there. You've got vents here at the top, a vent over there as well. But overall, this is what the Sierra Denali Ultimate interior looks like. This is pretty much what the Denali looks like as well. The only really big differences I would say is from the Silverado to the Sierra is really the layout of things. So in the Silverado, you'll see this massive square pocket to store things, but I do like the screen layout here. The screen works really well. It's a dual setup here, so you can have your maps here. Your camera angles are great. The quality's awesome. You got a ton of cool camera angles. You got a bird's eye view at the back. You got side camera angles too. And then here is your bed camera. Now this is your rear camera mirror. These two cameras are actually on your third brake light, and then you can scroll through depending on what you want. You got audio, and then you can have maps here on the full screen too. So it's going to depend honestly on the user, but the screen works well. You can scroll through. I also like the fact that they give you a clock. I think the clock just gives it like a little classy look, but overall I think the layout looks good. I like I mentioned, the buttons for the climate control. You've got heat and ventilated seats, of course, but overall I gotta say the screen works well. You've got your push button start here, and then like I mentioned, you got your cubby here, you got your trailer brake controller. Now the wireless charging pad is actually right here. In the center here is your center console. It's really soft. You've got perforation here, ultimate badge there. As we open this up, you got a cubby here. You've got a 120 plug, more plugs here, USB, USB-C. You've got a light as well. You've got a deep pocket, so that is nice to store things. And then up here, you've got your OnStar with your light controls, garage door opener, and then your rear sliding window button. And like I mentioned, you have that Alcantara liner, which does feel nice to the touch. But overall, I gotta say the Sierra Denali Ultimate is a nicer interior personally for me. I like, you know, some of the chrome they put around it. I do like the brown too, but if you want something a little bit more simpler, I would say the Silverado is definitely for you, because at the end of the day, if you don't really need the massaging seats, then maybe it doesn't really matter what the color option is inside, because this comes with a heads-up display, and that also has one too. So, you know, it's got some of the same things. It's just going to depend, honestly, on, you know, if you like a little bit more, you know, luxury stuff with the chrome around it. But let's go over to the Silverado, and then we'll compare the two. All right, guys, so this is what the Silverado High Country 2500 interior looks like. So we'll start with the steering wheel. Leather-wrapped steering wheel here. Feels nice to the touch. Honestly, they kind of feel the same and do the same things compared to the Sierra. We got your cruise control over here, heated steering wheel, forward collision alert, and then over here is going to control your display screen. So with these display screens, they're going to showcase a little bit more of a blue color, where in the Sierra, it's going to be more black. But it gives you the same type of controls. Scroll through, you can change all the displays there if you wish. You know, you could scroll through and change whatever you want, but it's going to do the same type of things. Now on the left side here, you got your toggle for your wipers, and then you have your steering column shifter. This one, like I said, does have the heads-up display. So this one here has the High Country Premium package. I personally would recommend it. It's going to give you a lot of nice comfort features, the rear camera mirror, the heads-up display. It's just going to give you more of those things. As a package, it's better to get it instead of individually. Now, the top here is more softer, I would say. It's like a soft rubber, whereas in the Sierra, it's like a hard touch. But as you can see here, you've got some brown stitching. You got a pocket up here where the screen is behind it. You've got more soft touch here, I would say, as well. So I would say the dash here is a little bit more softer. And like I mentioned before, you do have handles on both A-pillars. You do get a cubby up here to store things. The wood looks nice to the touch. It's a little bit more lighter. You've got your lower glove box. Now over here, you can see you've got more of that combination of this gray where it is on the steering wheel too. So I think that's cool. But like I mentioned before, is the Silverado interior is just a little bit more simpler. So some people may prefer that, especially when it comes to the seats. You can get the Denali with black seats, but again, the Silverado, I think, is a little bit more simpler for some people. Now here's the screen. It works pretty much the same as the Sierra. It's a dual zone purpose if you wish. You can have your maps here. You can scroll through. Again, I kind of like the clock. It just makes it look like a classy truck. You've got your audio here, your camera angles as well. You still have Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. Now the nice thing is too, you can control the climate in this screen and the other screen on the Sierra, but they give you buttons. I think physical buttons are the best, especially nowadays when everything's going into the screen. I think having physical buttons is nice. You know, the camera angles work the same here in the Silverado. They're very good quality, HD, I would say. You've got the angles, which are great too. You've got the bed camera, and then you got your rear camera mirror too. But overall, the screen works the same. You've got your controls here, like in the Sierra, your exhaust brake, lane keeping assist, all that kind of stuff that you'd want. You can put your tailgate down here, and then you can also do it on the Sierra. Push button start here. This is where your trailer brake controller is, and then again, you got dual zone climate here, heat and ventilated seats on both sides. Now, this is what I was telling you guys before. The Silverado here has this like big pocket of storage. I personally like the cup holder layout here on the side like the Sierra has, instead of having just like this big pocket, but it's just going to depend on the person. They have the USB plugs and USB-C plugs here. We're here in the Silverado, they have them here. Like I said, it's just going to depend honestly on the person. I think they give you the same things, it's just the way the layout is different. Now you got some real wood trim here, and then you got pocket of storage here as well. And then over here you have the perforation with High Country there, and then this one is soft. I would say the Sierra just feels a little bit softer, but again, same purpose. And then if you lift this up here, you've got the same plugs. So 120 plug here, USB, USB-C, and then you've got a pocket of storage here with a light there as well. And then you do have that wireless charging pad here. And then up at the top here, you got that rear camera mirror, on start, rear sliding window, and then you got your garage door openers, and then here, like I mentioned, is not a Alcantara liner, it's just more plain Jane cloth. But let me know what you guys think. What would you choose? I mean, some people prefer the Silverado over the Sierra and vice versa. You know, honestly, like if it didn't come to money and I didn't care, I would probably just go with the Sierra. But I do have to say, when you sit in here and you see the hood, I feel like the hood just kind of looks a little bit more bigger and bulges more at the top here because they have the Duramax and Allison badges there. But overall, I gotta say this Silverado is a really good looking truck. But let's go outside and give you guys my final thoughts. All right, guys, so that'll conclude this review, but let's talk about some final thoughts here. Let's start with price. This 2026 GMC Sierra 2500 Sierra Denali Ultimate is sitting at 132,892 Canadian, whereas this 2026 Chevrolet Silverado 2500 High Country is sitting at $119,557 Canadian. Now that is about 12 to 13 grand price difference. Now, if that didn't really matter to you, then I think the Sierra is probably the better option to buy. It's just gonna come with more options. I think the cool factor's there, more in the Sierra over the Silverado. However, I think if you just want a truck to do the things that you need to do with some nice luxuries, then the Silverado will do. But it is a tough choice. I think when it comes to comparing the Denali and this Silverado, then it's gonna be a little bit harder. But obviously, the Sierra Denali Ultimate will take it if the money is no option. Now, if you care, you know, a little bit more of that 12 grand, then I would say getting the Silverado is probably the better option. But let me know what you guys think. That'll conclude this review, and we'll see you in the next one. Cheers.